What's up, boys? Day 86 of Road to 100k in 100 days. Today was a good day. Boom. Day 86. So we're at 7 clients. Today's July the 1st. We've got 15 more days left of this challenge. And as you can see, I just landed my 7th client today. Now the goal is 25, but I'm not worried about that goal anymore. I'm just worried about day-to-day meetings, which should always be my main concern. Had one meeting today, and as you can see, it became a deal. This guy I'd spoken with a while ago, actually. I'd spoken to him way before he filled out my ad for now a second time. Like I told you guys, I was running ads 2 weeks ago. I had to turn them off because there was too many people. I couldn't get back to all of them. Something I'm actually writing an SOP for right now. Yeah, that's my main bottleneck right now in terms of A, providing results, and B, taking on as many new customers as possible. I'm certainly at the point now where I can't do everything myself, but that's another story for another time. This guy I just spoke with today, an awesome guy, an electrician. Like I said, I've already spoken to him before, not on a sales call, but just on a really long discovery call, and we were meant to have a sales call months and months ago, but he cancelled on his end and essentially ghosted me. I didn't burn the bridge. I didn't say, go yourself. I just said, look, I know now's not a good time. You don't have to reply to this text, but if you ever need help in the future, get back in touch. And he clearly saw the ad I was running 2 weeks ago. He got back in touch. I said, hey, it's good to hear from you. How you been? And he said, to be honest, mate, I'm struggling a little bit. This is my situation. This is where I want to be. How can you help me? And I said, well, before we do that, it's been this amount of time since I spoke to you, and you were in that situation before. What's changed? And he said, nothing, to be honest. And I said, okay, we can help. Let me show you how. Got on a sales call with him today. Really, really nice guy. He was one of those guys that his voice didn't suit his body. When I saw him, I was like, oh, hello. Didn't expect him to look like that. Not that that's a bad thing. And yeah, we had a great, lovely conversation. And I kind of had the, sales advantage, if you will, because I could say, look, you know who we are already. I know you didn't know all this information I just explained to you, but you get the idea of what we do and the results we generate. This is how it's going to work. This is what I believe is going to happen and what a lot of our other clients have seen results with. If you don't change anything, who's going to say 90 days from now you're not going to be in the same spot you are right now? Just a question. And he said, you know what? I don't need to hear anymore. Let's do it. I was like, let's go. So another deal today, I spent this was early in the morning, like 10 a.m. I spent about 90 minutes doing the onboarding for him, getting getting Meta Business Suite access, getting Ads Manager access, getting Ad Account access to kind of have control of his Instagram and Facebook. As always, got some ads set up. We had a nice conversation about expectations, what this partnership will look like, what I think is going to happen, and in terms of numbers, cost per lead and things of that nature, and in terms of follow-up for these leads he's going to be getting, what I think he can expect. And he told me what he expects of me, and I said, I totally understand. Let's do it. Let's check in on this date to have a 30-day, a 30-day, what do you call it, check-in time, as I do with everyone. Which, by the way, can sometimes be awkward if your results aren't there, but can sometimes be massively valuable if you're over-delivering on results. But that's another story for another time. Yeah, and I got the deal closed on the day, as you know. And yeah, full payment made, and everything is set up. I do need to get more content from him, because I told him to send me all the photos and videos he could, and he said he actually had 2 phones. So he sent me some off one phone, and to be honest, the photo and video quality was pretty dreadful. We'll still be able to make it work. We'll make, the nice edits on CapCut and stuff and make it look all fancy and stuff. But of course, the better quality the video, the better quality the content, the better quality the customer that you will get from the content. It makes sense. So essentially got that side of things sorted, which is an absolute blessing. Thank you to the man above. And then I went home, did a quick workout, watched some football with my dad, watch the Club World Cup. And then I came back here, and for the last hour or so, I've been making this fulfillment SOP. I made a fulfillment SOP, you guys might remember, probably a month ago, maybe 20 days ago, maybe 30 days ago, maybe 35 days ago. I'm kind of losing track of time, to be honest with you. And it was good, but I just reread it, and there's a lot I need to add. I need to be way more specific. What I did was essentially take the basis of my onboarding and take the basis of the fulfillment for my clients. Forget the onboarding, fulfillment for my clients. I essentially put the basics down and then put that in ChatGPT and said, write me an SOP for this, but keep it really general, because I was going to add in all the intricate details. It did an SOP for me, ChatGPT, and it was actually quite good. But now that I have to put all the details in, there's a lot that's missing. So all I'm getting at is I needed to add more details, and that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, guys, I recall yesterday saying, again, today's a Tuesday, Monday I had 2 meetings, and Friday I had 2 meetings, and all 4 of those meetings didn't equate to deals. Usually I'll get at least 1 deal for every 4 meetings. So, and I remember yesterday thinking, you know what, that kind of sucked, but it is what it is. And here I am 1 day later celebrating a new deal, based on that logic. So as opposed to going into these sales calls with like I hope they sign up, hopefully it's going to be a deal. It's more of a law of averages game. If I know I'm going to take 5 sales calls, usually I'll close 1 or 2 of them. So even if the first, the last 4 days has been a prime example. Friday, 2 calls, neither of them closed. All right, I was a bit upset, but, life goes on. Monday, yesterday, 2 calls, neither closed. All 4 of them, probably could have closed if I pushed a bit harder and was a bit more desperate. But they weren't the highest quality of client. I could tell that it was going to be a bit of a rough partnership, and that's neither here nor there, but I could tell that they didn't really trust me, and that's fine. And as opposed to, selling their head off, I just went, all right, whatever, on to the next. I wish you luck, be in touch, here's my number, here's my email, get in touch with me anytime you want, on to the next. And today I approach this with the exact same attitude. It's, look, by law of averages, this should probably be a deal. I get on the phone, like I said, I already know the guy knows me, he knows the service, and I told him all the information about the service and the results he can expect, and it was essentially one of the easiest sales I've ever had. So, yeah, just remember, guys. And also, I was watching a podcast the other day that said something about this, about, door knocking. It's say you're door knocking and your average commission is, if your commission is $150, and you knock on, let me just give an example of 150 doors. You're knocking on each door and you're thinking, oh, hopefully this is 150 bucks, hopefully this is 150 bucks. Let's say it takes you 10 doors to get 1 sale of $150. That means throughout the day, you're going to get $1,500 of commission. That's amazing. Instead of looking at every door oh, this will get me closer to 1,500. Look at, break it down. 1,500 divided by 100 doors. You do the math. Each door you're knocking on, $15 or $1.50. I can't even do the math off the top of my head, but it's $15 each door, or $1.50 each door. So instead of worrying about the outcomes, this door's $1.50, this door's $15, knock knock. That's what I'm getting at. So as opposed to me going to these sales calls thinking, oh, I hope that, there's a lot of money, like $4,000 on the line right here. It's not the same anymore. It's now, if this one doesn't close, I know the next one will. And if the next one doesn't, I know the one after that one will. And I know that if that one doesn't, I know the one after that one will close. And then if something goes wrong in that, usual 1 to 4 and 1 to 5 ratio, if I'm not closing 1 in every 5, then I have to take a look in the mirror and say, okay, what's wrong with my service? What's wrong with my sales skills? What's wrong with my presentation? What's wrong with my marketing? There's always another question to ask, but my kind of holy grail number has been 1 to 4 and 1 to 5. One sale for every 5 meetings, 1 sale per 4 meetings. I hope this makes sense, by the way. And the reason I'm talking about and writing this fulfillment SOP is because I'm getting to the point. I mentioned it yesterday, but I'm just too busy to take all these calls. This is my 7th client. If every client takes me about half an hour a day of outreach on behalf of my client to their customers, which remember, these are people who are selling to homeowners. So I'm calling homeowners all day saying, oh, you filled out our ad about a switchboard installation. They'll say, yeah, and I have to speak it, I'm the one that has to do all that. I'm going to hire someone to do that for me because that's going to save me hours of work every day. Hours of work. That's a message from someone right there. That's going to save me hours of work each day, and that means I can focus on more revenue generating activities, such as taking more sales calls, such as running more ads, such as making better content. That's where my head's at, and that's how you really scale. And I keep preaching this, and I've done a lot of work around this, but I still haven't hired anyone. So I think my next step is hiring someone. I don't think that. My next step is hiring someone for the fulfillment, and even maybe hiring someone for my like an appointment setter for my discovery calls, because as I told you guys, the only reason I turned off those ads 2 or 3 weeks ago, probably 2 weeks ago now, I spent like $800 over 4 or 5 days, and I got over 100 leads. I can't call 100 leads in 4 days. If I'm getting 30 leads a day, I can't call all those leads. I mean, I can, but I'll be calling them at like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. I like to look at the lead, look at the business name, look at the business, essentially. I have to go online and look at their Instagram, their Facebook, their YouTube if they have one, their website, their Google My Business. I have to give I want to give a review. I want to call them and say, hey, I know this already about your business. This probably equates to this. What's your biggest bottleneck? What's the struggles? What's going good? What's going not so good? I don't just want to call them and say, hey, you filled out a lead. Talk to me. It's a very, very different call when it's a warm call and you know their business. And that's what I do. But that's also what I want to pay someone else to do, so I can focus on sales calls. That's where I'm getting at. Anyway, I'm going to tell you guys more about that another time. I'm going to leave you to it for today. Again, day 86. We got what? We've got 2 weeks left. Is that right? Let me go on my month calendar. Yeah, so 2 weeks and 1 day from today, I'll upload day 100. And that'll be it for the series. Anyway, for now I'm focusing on the daily tasks. So right here, right now, I'm going to finish this fulfillment delegation handbook, rather SOP, and then I'm going to make a handbook as well for my team member that's coming on. And I'm going to make sure my clients get good results. That's it. As of right now, I've got no new clients from referrals. So that's probably a bit of a kick up the bum to say, make your make your service delivery, make your product better. So that's what I'm going to do. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. And I will see you tomorrow for day 87. Peace.